Hello and welcome to the BoozleBox. As you can see, I'm on a large flat world. This is Tekkit, and I decided I was going to do a couple videos, make a little series on just some random contraptions that you can build in Tekkit with RedPower motors and frames. So here we have my factory. It's a bit of a cube. I kind of did it quick. And obviously it's an air factory, because that's all it's making is air. So right, now the problem is I can't get enough air in and out through the doors. So what I need is two massive doors which will open up. And that is what I'm going to try and create today. Now I've already got a decent idea of how I'm going to do it. I'm going to take out this whole front section here, and yeah, as I said, I'm going to use RedPower, which is the RedPower frames and wires. So if I just use the frames now, like so. Now frames, each side of the frame, as you can see, looks like that. If it's touching a block and not insulated by a cover slip or anything, it'll drag the block when moved by the motor. So what you can do, I'll just get a crafting table, is use a saw, like this, to cut blocks. I'm just going to get an iron block, and I'm going to chop it up, and keep chopping it until I get my iron covers. So now you can place the iron covers directly onto the frame blocks, and you know it's gone in if you get this wooden edge to it here. Now you have to be careful, because if you've done this, you'll need to remove these blocks so you can place it on the outer edge of the frame, otherwise it will drag those blocks along with it. Again, I'm going to have to do it with the bottom. Okay, as you can see, I've finished all the covers for the door. It's 4 wide and 5 tall. Right. So now what I want the doors to do is I want the doors to go back one block and then slide into this gap here, out the way, so I can get my air in and out of my factory. So right, I'm going to place the first frame motor above this door here. I'll tell you why I'm putting the motors above the doors later, and that will become clearer. Now wherever you place a frame motor, it'll always face the same direction to begin with, so it's always going to be facing that way. So if you've got one behind the cover slips that you can't see the face, if you just place another one, you can work out what way it's facing, so that one will now be facing the correct direction. Now obviously I'm going to need two, one pushing, one pulling, so I'll add that one in there. There we go, that's facing the right way. Right, so those two are going to be pushing the door back and then pulling it forward again. So I'm going to need another two motors over here, and these have got to be on the block back, because that is where it will be. Now there needs to be one here and here. That one needs to be pulling backwards, and that one needs to be pushing forwards. Okay, there we go. Right, now I can put this wall back in, because everything's covered up and nothing's going to by accidentally get dragged along. And I'll place this wall back over here. Now what I might do is just use the handsaw and chop a brick in half, and just place the bricks around the edge of the door, and that will set it in nicely. It'll also cover up the frame motors up here, like so. Okay, so that's that. Got a nice cover on it. Now what we do need to have is a solar array using the RedPower box, or battery box. here, the battery box, and the RedPower solar panels. So we'll just place a quick setup like so. Right, now that should be filling up. That one should be filling up if it was daytime, so let's make it daytime. And now you can see it started to fill with power. Brilliant. Okay, now we need to power all of the frame motors, and you do that with the blue alloy wire. So if we travel this, take this over here. Right, now as you can see, I had to move the frame motors over one block because we're going to have another load of frame motors here, which I'll put in now, and this is for the other door when I install it. So we'll wire these ones in, and also I used a let's see here, a stone brick cover on the floor here, and I'm going to need one here as well. And all that does is that just covers up where the wires go in, so you can't see it. Right, I'll need to actually take this out like this. This is here. Now, all of these should be powered if there's enough power in here. Now you can test that by getting a lever. Keep hold of those. Getting a lever and just pressing. I need to turn that on. Pulling the lever, and if the door moves, then you know you've got power going to the door. There we go. So that's how it's going to work. It's going to go in and out like so. Eventually, we will fully automate the doors, so you won't actually have to press a button. Well, you will have to press a button to get the whole thing to go, but you won't have to keep hitting switches to move it in and out and back and forth. Right, now while we're doing it, I'm going to power up these other two frame motors in the same fashion. Right, now I've added power to the other two frame motors. The next thing to do is I'm going to get some bundle cable and some, let's go with dark blue and cyan. Jacketed cable, or insulated wire even. Jacketed cable is the big one. Bundle cables are just made with insulated wire and string, so they're not too hard to make. Now these wires will have to be going into the motors themselves, so you will need to use some space on top of your factory or wherever you're placing the door to allow the current to enter like so, one forward, one backwards. And we'll use, let's say, orange and red for the side-to-side movement. Obviously they won't connect because they're different coloured wires. Now, bundle cable is incredibly useful because bundle cable allows you to send multiple redstone signals through the wires, and then have it come out wherever you want it. I'll show you in more detail in a second. Actually, I'll quickly show you now. So say if this bundle cable came down here and I wanted to move this frame motor to move the door in one. What you need to do is, because it's orange coloured wire, you place an orange bit of wire and then a lever, and it will send an orange signal through the bundle wire. So any orange pieces of wire connected to it will receive a signal, and as you can see, the door has moved back one. I'll quickly send a red signal just to show that it's all the signals go through there, and it should have gone back. There we go. Right, so the bundle cable is just a really way of tidying everything up and making sure nothing gets, well, too higgledy-piggledy and messy. It's something that I quite frequently use, and it is very useful. Right, we'll finish wiring up these frame motors. Right, now as you can see, I've wired up all of the motors. They all have power, and the bundle cable is connected to all of them. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bundle cable down through my factory. I'm going to put it on this side of the wall, and it's going to come down through the factory, so yeah, looks kind of cool with some wire going down the wall. You can always make this hole smaller, so it doesn't look as intrusive, and all you do with that is, again, you use the hand saw, and you can make some, you don't want them quite this big, but if you make these stone brick panels, and then you can add the covers to them to make triple covers, and these triple covers will actually, if you don't put that in first, they should, I might have made it too big, yeah, it's too big, but you do actually need a, for normal cable you need the triple cover, but obviously this is a bundle cable slightly wider, so you should be able to just do this, like so, and then obviously the gap is a lot smaller. I'll use a triple cable, sorry, triple cover piece here. Actually, you could probably do a larger than a double cover on that. So that's a cover slab. See how big that is. Right, so let's try this this one. I wonder if we could get it one smaller than that still. Add another cover. It's called a triple panel, and that will just, there you go. It doesn't even look like it's going through the wall anymore. There's no hole there, but you can see it comes straight through. So that's a really good way of hiding that kind of thing. I might do it here as well. You need to add the two panels first, like so, and then the triple cover in there. There we go, and now it just looks like a bit of cable. Okay, and down here is where we'll be building the logic to open and close the doors next episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you did, and if you have any suggestions, just leave them in the comments below, and thanks for watching.